I see this phenomenon as very much beginning with the reportage coming out of Tahrir Square in Egypt.
But they wasn't protesting against the financial system. They were protesting against lack of freedoms.
Well, they were protesting against the regime of Hosni Mubarak. Now, who is Hosni Mubarak? Who put him there? Hosni Mubarak represents Wall Street. Hosni Mubarak represents Israeli interests. Hosni Mubarak represents a global system.
So who owns the banks? Who owns the banks? The Arabs, the Jews, the Zionists?
There's a very small, tiny concentration of wealth. 50 people on the planet own a huge percentage of everything to be owned. The banking, who are they?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name names. There's one has a name that starts with R, has been prominent in the history of this city.
Who are the faces of fascism? I'm just looking now. Wall Street, are they fascists?
Well, this is not a term that I chose, but this is my friend and colleague Splitting the Sky in Calgary, Alberta. I'm from Alberta, Canada. And in 2009, George Bush came to give his first speech following his presidency. So he was no longer a head of state. He was coming to Alberta to speak at a
George
luncheon.
Bush worse than Hitler?
No, George Bush, you know, who is Hitler? I mean, Hitler, who were the bankers behind Hitler? IBM was very instrumental in the record keeping of the Holocaust. Henry Ford was a great supporter of Hitler. Hitler had a portrait of Henry Ford in his office. GM had a manufacturing in the Third Reich in Nazi Germany. So Hitler was, many of the capitalists used Hitler because he was anti-communist. He was preventing the spread of communism as some of the capitalists saw it.
So what's the alternative to
Well, wait a minute. So just take this into account. So the history of the fascist movement in Germany with Hitler at the front of it, who were the bankers behind it? It was to protect capitalism. Hitler was supported first and foremost as a bastion to stop the spread of communism, to represent the capitalist system. The Hitlerian version of capitalism, which included slavery, Auschwitz was started as a slave camp, was in conflict with the New Deal side of capitalism. And many of the companies were on both sides. We're building up the military-industrial complex in the fascist side and the UN side, or the Allied side.
I see maybe 0.00001% of people maybe
so here. You know, unless you can produce on one day you know, half of Britain in St. Paul's Square here, then you know, then who are you talking
But you're also missing
for?
the big elephant in the room for you guys. The fact is, whether you like it or not, the British public voted for a conservative government.
Well, I mean, if we had a media that was, you know, told the truth, that tried to represent the full range of opinion,
a lot of people are not stupid. They know what's going on. People know what's going on.
Oh no, how do you know what's going on? Those who have realized, don't look at the poison on television, on commercial television. Turn your television off.
Day-to-day living,
go to the
people know
media.
that their taxes are going up just by living and breathing and being. People know that their rent's going up. People know that the food's going up, but yet they still voted for a system which they find comfort in, which is they voted for a conservative government.
Well, go ahead and believe whatever mythology and fantasy. Go ahead and disassociate yourself from the poisonous indoctrination that we're fed by the media on a daily basis. For instance, Rupert Murdoch and the News of the World, that the police and the media collaborate, that the police and the media tell us who are the bad people, who are the good people. And the police and the media really kind of run things. Now, are they just running things autonomously, or are they taking orders from above? I happen to think they're taking orders from a small cabal from above.